G'day collaborators and welcome to this Minecraft video. Now I don't do Minecraft at all Now I don't do Minecraft often, if not at all, which is why I'm still naked, but that's neither here nor there. Now, something that I wanted to do after watching a recent-ish Mumbo video was to make use of his vertical sand transportation video. That is to try and make some form of piston door that uses vertical sand transportation to reset it. I'm not sure how effective it will be, but you know, it's worth a shot. Now, I generated a new world and found this stretch of desert, and I'm just trying to see if I can pick out a wall that I could use for this video. I think a sand wall that's next to some stone or dirt should be fine. So something like this, at least in that. Ooh, this one should be perfect. At least in this way, it looks somewhat natural to be in the environment, but also that the walls around it don't necessarily need to like collapse away or anything like that when I do some mining. Alrighty then. So I've found this wall here, so this is nice, and I'm going to enlist the aid of my brother's account here to have some spectator cam so I can do a time lapse if I wanted to. So there's me, there's my non-skin. Oh yes, and I'm using Optifine with the Zeus shaders because I think they look fucking beautiful. Alright. First of all, what I want to do is I want to do some experiments, which I'm going to show here. Okay, so you're going to be sitting here like this, and you're going to watch me make this thingy. Okay, sweet, this works. Alrighty then. Okay, so this is the current basic setup. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn down this music. It's glorious, but makes a nice backing, I guess. Okay, so this is the premise of the setup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this entire column with water, and then I'm going to use the soul sand to propel this sand block upwards. Now, of course, there's a few annoyances when it comes to using things like soul sand to move something upwards. The main important thing is that you can't just use a water stream from like the top here and use that water stream as a means of propelling something upwards, because of the fact that soul sand, in order for soul sand to work, it needs a continuous full block of water. So the question remains, the issue remains that I need to somehow replace the sand with a water source. And one way I've somewhat decided to try and do it, if I just get rid of this water here. Okay, so one way that I am thinking of doing it is to have two... Okay, so my constraints are that I need to make sure that this goes around to the right. So I can actually duplicate it sideways, so I can make, say, like a doorway that's like, you know, like this wide or something. So 4 blocks wide. So I can make a 4 blocks wide doorway using sand propulsion going upwards, which means the constraint is that I can't utilize the right side here for use of, say, creating water sources. What I can do is use these 2 corners here. So I can actually have, if I just go ahead and use, say, a different tint of glass. Pretty sure it's in building blocks here. So if I use light blue tinted glass, stained glass, here, that actually looks pretty... Oh, oh, it actually colors the light. Alright, never mind. Okay, so if I use light blue tinted glass to just make this a thing here. Alright, so this is going to have a block here, so that's why I'm keeping this here for now, but I don't really need it. And then I will do the same thing for one layer above it. I'm just gonna get rid of this sand and red concrete for a sec. So this part's gonna be like this. Now this part can be endlessly duplicatable to the right because I only need this one layer here on the left. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill up this point and this point with source blocks so that they can jet upwards. And then what I'm gonna do is go ahead and fill up these 4 areas here with the water source blocks. So if I go like this, okay, so now you can see the bubble stream going all the way up, which means that I can shield off this area, so I can stop putting water everywhere. Okay, so you can sort of see that this water stream is moving. The bubble stream is going through the water here because it is a solid water block. If I put the red concrete there, and then put a sand block there, and fill up the rest of this with some water source blocks, right? Okay, so now I've got water source blocks up to here. Actually, I'm just going to fill up the rest of it, well, why not? Okay, so I've got water source blocks all the way up. So that means if I retract this piston, the sand block should fall and then shoot upwards. So let's see if that works. There it goes. Mint. And it does actually shoot up quite high, which is absolutely perfect. Alright, so this is going to block it off, and I don't even need to worry about replacing it. Oh, that's fantastic. So, the other thing I wanted to test is if having, say, 4 sand blocks, will they shoot up in the same water stream with no worries? Of course, I need to extend the water source generators. Okay, so I've got all 4 of these sand cubes, sand blocks in the right place, and now if I just retract this piston, what I hope to see is that these areas where the blue stained glass are will fill up with water source blocks, and then these sand blocks will go shooting upwards towards that red concrete there. If I just go like this, oh, perfect. Somewhat. Ooh. So what I want to see happen is that when this piston retracts, I want to see if all 4 of these sand blocks will fall and then make a neat pile, or if someone will just... Oh, it does! Whoa! Was not expecting that. But if I quickly just turn off this piston and then make that like act as if this thing retracts, which is probably not going to do. But if I just go like here and then like this, okay, one of them breaks, which is not ideal. Yeesh. So you can sort of see what I'm going to do here, right? This is going to be the basic. There's going to be this red concrete here is going to be this this one, these 4 sandstone, and that's what's going to retract, and then the sand's going to fall down into the basin here. And then when you want to close the door again, this one's going to retract, and then all of these boys will come up. So if I just disable this, such a silly word, right? If I go like this, and then... So at least one of them breaks every time, which is not ideal. I want it to be so that they all land one at a time. I can't really make it go up any higher. Let's see. I'm going to do some experimentation just in the time lapse, and we'll see how this goes. All right. Okay, so I've done a bit of things here. Done 2 things here. Those of you might recognize this as an Xor Gate. I'm going to need this. Basically what an Xor Gate is that it will activate when one and only one of the inputs are activated. So you see I've activated both of them and the output is not active. In fact, I'm going to use a redstone lamp to make that a little bit more obvious. Alright, and then I have one active, and then it's active, and then I have none of them active, it's going to turn off. So this is going to be useful specifically so that I can make something do one thing in one instance but not in the other. What I've built here is a simple mechanism, a simple-ish mechanism, very basic redstone here. What this is doing is that it's going to make something that will happen 4 times. Basically, it's going to push a sand block 4 times. And these repeaters are just set in such a way that they are delayed so that it allows the sand to fall. If I only do it with 1 repeater instead of 2 here, then it's going to, like, this piston's going to break the falling sand blocks instead of actually move it. So once again, you see how the redstone works. Very simple. So yeah, that's that. In fact, I might actually maybe have to make it a bit quicker. I don't need that second one there. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that doesn't really do much, so that's fine. Alright, and just to make sure that it doesn't break the sand blocks. So this is basically what I want to do. So the column, the big glass column is still going to be relevant, but I just got rid of it because I want to rebuild it at a later stage. But basically what I'm going to do is that when the sand blocks are falling, I'm going to make them like, I'm going to push them into a magazine of sorts, and the magazine's going to fall down into one of these pistons here with the 4 stage, such that the sand blocks don't, such that I can control when the sand blocks go upward so that they don't die immediately, which is good news for making this sand door. I'm just going to try and find an intuitive way to combine these 2 elements to make them do a thing, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so what I've got here is I've got this, I guess, 4-stage burst fire operator here, and then I've got the operation that's going to open the doors, and it's going to open and close the doors. So that's what this torch is going to do. But basically what happens is that currently the door is closed. This means that the door is closed, these things are coming back. This is going to become a full stream of, a full bubble stream, I guess. So all of this is going to be water source blocks. And then the door is going to activate such that there's a piston, say, all the way over here that's holding a sandstone block with the 4 sand pieces above it. So, whoopsie daisies, come back. So, 1, 2, 3, fucking 4. Alright. So, this is the sandstone block, and there's going to be a piston that's pushing this block outwards. And this is going to be where the door is going to stand. So essentially this blue block here is going to be one of these blocks at the bottom, one of these sandstone blocks over here. Alright, so when I activate the thing and push this back, so I'm just going to go ahead and activate the piston so that this turns around. That's going to be a problem I'm going to solve later, but now what's going to happen is that these sand blocks are going to fall, and then boom, hits here, and going to get pushed into my magazine of sorts. It's going to get pushed into my magazine. Such that when I activate this circuit again, when I activate it, or when I want the door to close, I'm going to open this up, and then the sand is going to fall into the stream. Now this requires a lot of source blocks and little source blocks, water source block spawner thingies, but that's going to be solved at a later date. Not later date, but later time, I guess. My current goal is to implement this Xor Gate such that when I deactivate this, so when I want the door to open, currently the door is closed. When I want the door to open, boom, this doesn't happen. because if this happens as the door is opening, then the sand blocks are just going to get pushed into here and then underneath these pistons here, which is not ideal. So that's why I want this piston to not activate when they are falling through. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use an AND gate. I'm going to use an AND gate. Just need to research real quick how to do that. I'm pretty sure from memory an AND gate is built by having 2 redstone torches and redstone dust, and then, no, a redstone torch here. So these both have to be on for this to be off, I think. If I go ahead and get this lever action here. Alright, so both of these are off. One of them is on. Yep. The other one is on. Yep. And then both of them are off and then it's open. Oh, actually no, both of them are on, sorry. Both of them are on and then it turns on. Yeah. Okay, sweet. So if I link up this AND gate to this system here, so if I put an AND gate here and then make it so that this line here has to be off for this to work, that just needs a simple NOT gate, then I can apply it so that it'll only turn on when I want the door to open. Okay, so let's see if I can achieve that redstone system. Okay, so this is very kind of hackneyed together, but basically what this is going to do now is that when, I just need to make sure I toggle it correctly. So right now the door is closed. The door is closed. I just thought the door was open. The door is open. So now I'm going to close it and, yep, the magazine's getting emptied, which means the sand's going to come down. Okay, so now that the door is closed, I'm going to go ahead and get my sand block back. I keep getting rid of it. So, sand block, E. Alright. So, 4, okay. So now I'm going to activate these pistons. Okay. And then if, so that's a good sign, which means that this doesn't activate. So if I put this in, then, oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Fucking works, mate. So the 4-stage thing does fire, but only temporarily. Like the 4-stage burst. Fucking, I don't know what to call this. The burst fire. The burst fire doesn't actually it activates, but it doesn't actually activate the trigger. The safety's on. The burst is activating, but the safety is on. So it doesn't fire anything out of the magazine of fucking sand. Alright. So now when I want to close the door again, I'm gonna put this here, and then the sand is gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Why did it go 4 times? Issues. It should do it 4 times. I don't know why it's not. Oh, that isn't. Wait, what the fuck? Hang on. if I real quick just activate this observer. Look up over here for this guy. Yeah, his pulse doesn't actually activate. Okay, so I need to make this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I deleted that. Right, yeah. There we go. Okay, so now it's actually working properly. That was my goof. So the door is closed right now. And if I decide to go open it, boom, that opens. These sand blocks fall down. And then they get pushed into the magazine. Okay. And now I'm going to close the door. Boom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. I want to see if I can actually speed this up a bit. So I'm going to put it at 2 ticks. Or 1 tick, actually. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the relative is. One right click on these guys. I don't even think I need these double thingies. I can actually probably shrink it down by another thing if I wanted to. But let's see. So, I'm just gonna open the door. So these won't. That piston doesn't activate, which is nice. And now I'm gonna open the door. Close the door. Yeah, that should be fine. Like honestly, that should be fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Open the door. Yep, and then close the door. Yeah, that's fine. But I can shorten this by getting rid of the second one and by putting this one on like either 3 or 4, one of the two. So I'm going to do that for purposes of space. Nice. Okay. So it's, oh, that's why it's a little bit inconsistent. No worries. Okay, so if I go ahead and open the door again, whoop. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can do that. That's fine. No worries, mate. Okay, so I managed to make it a little bit quicker. I've got so much sand in my inventory. Ew. Okay, so now what I need to do is make the piston arrangement so that the door can open naturally. The door opens naturally, and then, or the door opens correctly, and then these two things get powered. Alrighty then, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've cleaned up. I'm just gonna clean up this for a sec. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, of course, build this up such that any blocks that are going to be filled with sand are going to be not filled with sand, so that we can get that water stream activating. Okay. So let's go ahead and, well, I mean, I don't really need to like guess which ones are going to be. I know that this one will need to be. Oh, one thing I do need to make sure I get. Oh, it doesn't really matter which way I go. I was going to say I need to make sure I know which way I'm going to be multiplying this outwards to get the 4 width size. But at the end, it doesn't really matter because, you know, I'm just going to put it at the end. Water is great in this game. Okay, so here's the cyan for this bottom part here. The reason why I need to put one here is because as the sand block goes into this area, it's going to destroy the water source here, and then it will make it unusable. So that's why I need that there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a water bucket in my inventory. Okay, head. So that's going to be important. The other two important parts are here with these 2 blocks here. So I'm going to need to somehow put a water source generator in these 2 blocks here. So this one is easy enough. I just need to put one here on this level. Oopsies. Okay, so that's one here, and then I need to do one on the level above it for this one here. And I'm just gonna immediately. I can't put any glass here, but there is glass down here that I can turn into a water source block. So no worries at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this one blue, and then this one here is gonna be blue. So that's gonna be here, and that's gonna be there. Easy peasy. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill all of this up with. Let's go ahead and open the door for a sec. So this is going to be delayed, and then, oop, no. I'm just going to make sure that it's delayed correctly. All right, and now I'm going. Oh crap. Okay, let me just. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill all of this up with water. That's going to be fine because it doesn't really matter. I just need to make sure that it's all enclosed. That's the important part. Alright, so I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to put, now I'm going to put water source blocks over here. Okay, excuse me for a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this door situation works right now. Okay, let's go ahead and open the door. So the water stream cuts and these sand blocks fall, and then yep, boom, and then okay, all right. So I can't... Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. I'm a dingus. I just need to get rid of this glass block. There we go. Now this can go back to being normal. I'm not sure what I had it set on before. I think it was 3 ticks. So I can go ahead and reactivate this. Well, that's not comforting at all. Ah, okay. So that's good. It doesn't break anymore. So it wasn't breaking because it was landing on a water source block. It was breaking because it was conflicting with that glass block here. And now I need to make sure that all of this is water source. 4 up from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not a water source block, and it needs to be. So that's why this needs to come up like this. This needs to come up like this, and this needs to come up like this. And so does this. All right. So I'm just going to go down here. Look at this underwater effects. Very pretty. Okay. Water source. Water source. Very hard to see the cyan glass through the water physics. All right. Let's go ahead and close the door now. Ah, it lands at the bottom one here. Wait, where is it stopping? There. This source here is not working. Oh, there is the rube. I need to make this a water source generator as well, because when the sand hits onto that, it destroys the water source. So I need to, oh geez, I kind of need to like double down on this sort of situation here, which is not ideal, but there we go. All right, so this top one here is going to need to be a water source generator for that block here. So that's why I need to put the cyan here and make these 2 blocks here into water sources. So here and here. And hopefully that will reconstruct the water source spigot in the right sort of way. All right. Okay, so now the sand is in the clip of the magazine. Now I'm going to close the door. Let's go. Ah! So where is it breaking now? Okay, I'm gonna time lapse this until I fix it. Oh, brilliant. So it works. I just need to work on the timing. I just need to make this just a little bit quicker. So I reckon if I make those 2 1, it should work. I'm just going to delete this. All right. So let's see if this door now works. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And then kaboom. Let's go. It's just a matter of timing now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Magazine is loaded. And now, kaboom. Let's go. 2, 3. Okay, so one of them broke, which is unfortunate. I didn't manage to catch which one that was, so let's go ahead and do it again. Did one of them... Okay. Let's... Oopsie, come back. I don't know what's happening here. I'm pretty sure, like, 2 of the blocks are activating at the same time. So if I just go like this. Oh, yes. So the first two sort of meld into each other, which means that I need to delay this signal. I don't need to slow it down. I just need to delay it. The reason why the 2 are mixing together is because these 2 water source blocks aren't going in time. They're not making they're not creating this water source block here to make this stream in time. So they are kind of mixing together because they're waiting for that thing to happen. So if I go ahead and do that, and then okay, so that's activating too quickly. So I need to slow it down. Shit. Okay, so let's see if this works. Alright, the last one is still dying too quickly. So, Oh, no. Okay. I think I know what's happening. So, what's happening is that this block pushes a solid sand block into this area, destroying that water source. Okay, so that water source needs to be regenerated. This sand block then becomes a falling sand block, and so it goes down and opens this space to be able to make that water source in the corner there. However, this piston then activates and pushes another falling sand block through into this area. So, as the magazine empties, what is actually happening is that the first sand block breaks the water source, and then as the sand blocks fall down, they become falling sand blocks which don't break the water source. So essentially, I need to delay this slightly, which is good news because I can do that easily. Let's see if that works. This probably isn't going to work, but let's have a go. 2, 3, 4. I don't think that's going to work. I need to do... Yeah, no, that's too quick. That's too quick. The reason why, like, I could, like, you know, the fool's gambit or the fool's gold would be that I could just make the door 3 high, but if I make the door 3 high, right, it's gonna break the first 2. Since the issue is happening with the first 2 blocks, then it's going to happen with the first 2 blocks no matter what. So that, boom, boom. Now my door is 3 high. Well, I mean, okay, I'll just make the fucking door 3 high. I mean, I don't give a shit. Let's go. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I don't have to make the door 4 high. Let's just make the door 3 high. 3 is a luckier number anyway. So, there we go. I've made a single door that opens and can turn into a it's a falling sand piston door, I guess. Falling sand piston door is what I'm going to call it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on extending it such that it is 4 wide. I do want to make sure it's 4 wide because I do like the even number wideness, and then you can put a door behind it or you can put whatever you want behind it. But basically, I'm going to try and make it so that it is 4 wide and 3 high. I mean, it's originally 3 high. I don't know why I wanted to make it 4 high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that in time lapse, and essentially all I'm doing is just moving this to the left, or multiplying this to the left 4 times or something. All right, let's give it a go. Oh, okay, so I think I've managed to extend it 4 ways. I ran into a little problem here, where you see how my red and blue concrete pistons here are in the orientation that they need. The issue that I had was that when when I extended it across, the pistons kind of interfere with each other. I decided to instead put the red and blue pistons above each other instead of from the side to side, because as you can see, I wouldn't be able to make the red piston go all the way across on because of the fact that it's on the side. If that makes any sense, I can't block off all of this area with one red piston on the right side. Unless I use a piston extender, and I don't want to do that. That seems really silly. And any sort of redstone complications that I would have if I used a piston extender would interfere with the sand balls falling into the magazine here. Instead, I decided to use one of the features that was added in the aquatic update, recent update. I'm not sure which exact update it is, but basically you can put water source blocks inside half stone or part sized blocks, and they get pushed by pistons, which means that I can have the water source blocks inside the pistons that are going to be pushing the sand. Although now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure. Let me just do a test real quick. I'm pretty sure if a sand block lands on a slab block, it'll just delete itself. So if I do this, yeah, it'll delete itself. Unless, of course, I make it so that the slab is in fact on the top. Would that make the block delete it? The sand block delete itself? No. Okay. Easy peasy. So I just need to change that bottom one with slabs that are on the top. Okay. So I'm gonna drill through the top here. This seems to be coming together quite nicely, which I'm very grateful for. For which I am grateful. All right. So let's go ahead and see if this works. Alrighty then. So I'm opening the door now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The magazine is loaded. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's see if it completes. Alright, so I had thought that this would be a little bit of an issue. Okay, so it seems like this part. No, it's this part here that's not becoming a water source block. Did I? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. So wait. But did I really? So the thing is not thinging correctly. And I don't know. Ooh, okay. Oh, so that is an issue. Can you no longer move? Ooh. I didn't test to see if pushing a sand block or pushing something with a piston that has a half slab that has a sand block on it, or that has a water source on it, would actually disable the water source. So let's have a look and see if it can do that thing again. Okay, and let's see if it does it correctly. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay, so I have a massive issue. But I feel like... Okay, so it seems like my little fix with the half slab blocks here doesn't work, which is a shame. However, all is not lost, because I can do the same thing that I did over here, where I made essentially a second stage water source generator, and I can put it on this side of the magazine. So the magazine is going to become another water source generator sort of thing. I'm just going to do a time lapse while I figure that out. So yeah, we can go ahead and do that thing. Okay, so I'm not sure if you saw in the time lapse, but there was a bit of an issue where the middle two sections were doing that thing with the water where it will combine the first two and then delete them when they arrive. And that is because down here at the very base, when these 4 pistons push the 2 in, it destroys all of the middle water source blocks here. And then only the outside ones, the only water source blocks that I have... Oh, shit, it's leaking. Where is it leaking? There we go. Oops. Okay, so when these 4 pistons When the two middle pistons push it, it'll destroy all the water source blocks, and it's only these outside ones that can really be used to try and make those middle two water source blocks function again. The two middle ones will only become water source blocks when the outside ones will become water source blocks, and that'll only happen when the outside sand is destroyed, blah blah blah, and it does the thing. Okay, well, it becomes falling sand, blah blah. What I've done is that I've made the first tick, or the first push of the pistons to be faster than all the other ones. Hopefully that would mean that the first ones get pushed out really quick, and then it'll wait for a bit before pushing the second load of sandstone out, or the second load of sand out. So this is opening the door. The sandstone will come back. The sand will fall down. They'll get pushed into the magazine here, and then the magazine will activate. No, okay. So it only activates twice. Okay, so I need to somehow fix it. Oh, right. So I make that one. I'll make that one. Let's try that. And go. Okay. Oh, rip me. Oops. That somehow happened. That was silly. So now I'm going to force it open. Okay, so for some reason, the second operation will push the falling sand blocks, or the stationaries push falling sand blocks into each other, and then it will break. Okay, so I need to fix my burst module. This burst module needs to be fixed so that the first pulse happens and then the second two pulse happens after them. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the time lapse and see if I can figure out a way to do that. So, this finally works. It works. Like, so I feel like the space between the first tick of the burst module and the second tick of the burst module, or the following ticks of the burst module, could be a little bit quicker, but it actually works. So if I go ahead and open the door, the sand will eventually fall down. Da-da-da. 1, 2, 3. Load the clip. Magazine! Alright. And now I'm going to close the door and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so close. That's okay. That's because I made a change down here. If I just turn this back to a make it a little bit longer, it should work now. Let's try it again. Magazine's loaded. Okay. Door closes. Yes! So it looks a little bit jank on the left here, but it works! Yes! Sorry. Oh, that is brilliant. So now I can actually start working it into the ground over here. I can actually make this 4 parts here into this opening piston door here. It's going to be very intriguing. The only thing that I need to do now is... Well, okay, so... Like, when it comes to putting this sand door into that environment here, the only issue with it is that when the door is open, there's this big fuck-off hole in the ground. This is just a hole. Like, if I'm standing down there and I've opened the door, I'm going to walk into it and fall into a hole. Like, but that can be solved by doing something like a double piston extender here, So this kind of door situation going up this way, so that when the door opens, after the sand falls down, I'm going to have a double piston sort of arrangement going into it and then upwards, so that it makes a floor like this. So it makes a floor looking like this. And then, of course, as soon as I hit the switch, they're going to disappear. So I need to make it such that, right, as soon as when I flick the switch the first time, right, it's going to take a while for these pistons to activate. And then when I flick the switch the second time, the piston's going to activate immediately. So that's going to be my big challenge. And let's see if I can do it. Okay, so I've built the circuit. This grey circuit here leads onto these white and black circuits. The black circuits activate these pistons that extended across, and the white circuits activate these pistons that are being extended. So if the door is now closed, if I open it, these pistons are going to stay closed and stay not extended until these ones retract, and then it makes an even floor like this. And then I can do something like, oh, I don't know. You know, I get a set of stairs and use these to hide those pistons there. Okay? So these set of stairs are going to be behind this wall here. The wall that here, currently it's open, but basically when I close it, those stairs are going to be, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm a bit tired, so my rambles are a bit rambly. Anyway, so let's see that opening again. So these pistons aren't going to extend until this one goes out of the way, and then when I close the door again, these pistons are going to extend out of the way immediately, allowing these sand blocks to jump up, and then these pistons are going to extend in the way to make sure they land correctly. Now, one problem that I had is that the sand launching upwards is going to be massively slowed down because of the fact that these pistons blockade 2 entire levels of water source. Which means that the launching upwards is going to be a lot slower, which is unfortunate because if it's too slow, then the sand blocks aren't going to crest above the pistons here, which means that they're not going to actually close the door. But let's just see if like there's a max speed that it reaches or something like that, just to see if it closes properly. So let's give it a go. So the door opens. Okay. So I can't do it immediately when this jumps out of the way because I need to make sure the sand has time to fall. So I guess I just need to make this a bit slower. Boop, 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 bing. Alright. So this is a sand run, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if this works. So these bottom sandstone retracts. This one opens. These sands fall into the magazine. There's 3 layer, which is good, And now I can retract everything. These retract immediately, and then the sand shoots up. As I had thought, it's relatively decent. Yeah, it's relatively decent. That's not too bad, actually. I know it's like worse than what it's usually, but the reason why it's not too bad is because of the fact that I got at least 1 3-stack, and it was in the middle, which is strange. But since I got at least 1 3-stack, that means that if I extend this part out, because of the fact that my redstone circuit is such that there's a top level and then a bottom level, this shaft of water can be as long as I want it to be. Wink wonk. But anyway, I can essentially dig all the way down into the ground, almost over to bedrock, in order to make this a lower circuit here. And then all I need to do is just make sure that the timing is right, and that's pretty easy. Cool. So that is that, I guess. So let's see if I can now put this into the ground here. But I'm gonna make it like, oh, so currently it is from soul sand to sandstone. It is 1, 2, 3, 14, 15 blocks high. If I make it like 30 or even 40 blocks high, then I think my issue here would be resolved. But that is something that I'll have to test. So I don't think I'll be able to do a time lapse of this, unless of course, hang on a sec, I just want to see something real quick. If I put this spectator in the ground, whoa. Oh, that's actually very promising, because if I put this spectator in the ground, I can then make it, I can see my character building this, the contraption. So I'm going to put this here, and now I'm going to try and build it. So here we go. Okay, so this is the moment of bloody truth. So I believe I've set everything up correctly, but we don't know until I actually try it, and I'm so excited to see if this bloody door actually fucking works. Sorry about my swearing, it is 12:30 AM and I am quite tired. Anyway, so this orange concrete is a stand-in for sandstone. These sandstone blocks here are actually another area where the orange concrete could have gone, because these ones are going to move out of the way. So let's have a look to see if this bloody thing actually works. Open the door. Oh boy. Okay, so the door opens correctly. That's what I was expecting. But I want to see if it closes correctly. So here we are. The moment I've been waiting for. Let's go. So this door opens correctly, and then... oh, the sand turned into an item, which is never good. Oh shit. So there's something wrong with this area here, which is never a good sign. Alright. Oh, here we go. Alright. So, it goes up until about here. Okay, so I'm going to need to do some more water source generation things so that it actually works. Alright, let's go back to the time lapse while I fix this. Okay, so I've built up that water source environment a little bit nicer. so let's see if another run of the door will actually work. The only thing I'll have to worry about now is the timing of my initial delay. But, you know, so long as I don't change where the ending of this redstone circuit here is, I should be fine. So I can make another delay around this way. And it'll be fine. Because that's the most important part, this black line here. Okay, so, door is open. And, you know, I'm just going to replace this with sandstone so it themes better. Okay, so the door is open. And now I'm going to see if the door closes. Oh my god. It actually works. And I need to make the delay shorter. Okay. Oh boy, I wonder what happens if I make it shorter by 2. So 2 whole, 1 second. So 2 whole redstone beepers, repeaters. Okay, so I'm gonna build up this door again. Okay, so let's see if this works. Ba-boom. Door opens. Brilliant. So let's see if it closes. Let's go. Oh. Okay, so I need to delay it even further, but one of them turned into an item, which is never a fucking good sign. I need to shorten it even further, sorry. So let's see if this now works. So I'm just gonna wait for a long ass time. Actually, I'm gonna go down and look at my magazine. I need to follow the pink line. An intelligent man would switch into spectator mode and fly through the floor. Ah, shit. That's not a good sign at all. Alright, so something happens here which is not good. So, what I'm going to do to subvert this slightly is I'm going to go back into creative, just inside. Oh, that's my programming going in. Alright, we go back into creative, and I'm going to fill up my clip manually. Magazine? Fill up my magazine manually. Alright. Now let's see if the door closes, if the magazine is already full. So here comes the sand. Only one of them got it. That's okay, so that's because it's too early. So I just need to delay it. I'm going to put it back to the 2 delay as I had it before. So what I'm going to do a tricky dicky thing. I'm going to put my... Oh, no, I'm going to put both of my games on screen like this, and have the left game as some kind of like a security camera type situation. So I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it right here. Okay. And now I'm going to use my right game as my controller. So this is a little bit jarring for me. Because it's like kind of broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 12 sand blocks here, and then I'm going to activate the lever, and now I'm going to look at my left screen to see what happens. So my red and blue activate correctly. This comes down. Oh. This one? This line here activates. Oh, I see what it's doing now. Okay. So this line here. Alright, I'm gonna make this on full screen. So this line here, when the observer activates, so when this observer sees that a sand block falls onto it, this line comes over here and activates this block, which not only turns off this torch, but it also turns on this redstone here. So if I go ahead and switch back to this mode here, and I go down to that area, functioning. Alright. Stupid. Okay. Let's get back up. Okay. Alright. Moment of truth again. Damn it. Okay, so I need to delay this again. up. Okay, so I need to delay it even further. God damn it. Okay. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Alright. So let's go ahead and close this door again. This is my fault. This is my own fault. One. Oh, that seems like... I don't know. I don't know. I really feel like I'm so close to making this door work, but I just don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to a time lapse to see if I can try and fix this a little bit faster. Alright. I did it! Alright. So, after a fuck ton amount of time, I have managed to create a door. A sand door that uses vertical sand translation found with soul sand. Alright, so the door's been open for long enough, so now if I just close that bitch. Here it goes. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, now all that's left to do is just to disguise and hide all of my redstone that I don't need to be visible. So I'm going to go back to a time lapse and I'm going to see if I can make that happen. Cool. So the door is open now, and now I can close the door. So let's go ahead and close this bitch. Here it comes. Oh, mate. Oh, this was too long of a thing. Okay, so this took a hell of a long time to make, but I feel like it is an incredibly rewarding thing. It all started with a prototype here, which is just a single column of 3 sand that I hope to design it in at least in some way to be replicatable along the Xor Z axis, you know, the left axis. Yeah, it is the X axis. So replicated along the X axis enough times for it to make that door. And this first prototype worked. It was great. And then I did replicate it 4 times to try and make it, you know, 4 ways, but I kind of mungulated this experiment in order to test something which didn't really work. And then I created this. And, like, it's just kind of, you know, magical. There it goes. And now, going to close it. Hey, so it's done. Anyway, so that brings me to the end of my first Minecraft Redstone video. Hopefully, you've learned something. I know I certainly learned something, and maybe, you know, this could become a thing if people enjoyed enough. If not, I had fun while it lasted, and I hope the time lapse was worth it. I'm pretty sure the time lapse is going to be worth it. Let's be real. So thank you so much for watching this Redstone video. I hope you learned something. I know I've learned something. But in any case, I will see you in the next video. This is Quillo signing off. Goodbye, and good luck. I can't. No, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work, does it? Alright, no worries.